Welcome to Daily English Commit, 10 minutes of practical English a day for busy workers.
Story 1. A small gift at the office. This morning, Lena came to the office a little early. She put a small gift on Mark's desk. It was not expensive, just a simple notebook with a blue cover. When Mark arrived, he looked surprised. He said, "Oh, what is this?" Lena smiled and said, "It's just a small thank you gift. You helped me with the client report last week." Mark smiled too. He said, "That's really kind of you. You didn't have to do that." Lena said, "I know, but I wanted to. Your help made my Friday much easier." Then Mark said, "Well, thank you. This made my morning." A few minutes later, their manager walked by. She noticed the notebook and said, "That's nice. Small things like this help build a good team brand." Lena laughed softly. She said, "A friendly team is always a good brand." At lunch, Mark used the notebook for his meeting notes. He felt happy, not because of the gift itself, but because someone noticed his effort. At work, we are often busy. We answer messages, we join meetings, we finish tasks. Sometimes we forget to say thank you. But a small gift, a kind word, or a simple smile can make the office feel warmer. Today, try one small way to appreciate someone at work. Story 2. How are you, really? On Monday morning, David walked into the office with a coffee in one hand and his laptop bag in the other. He saw Maya near the printer. He gave a small smile and said, "Hi, Maya, how are you?" Maya looked up and said, "I'm okay, just a little tired." David stopped for a second. Usually people ask, "How are you?" and keep walking. But this time he noticed her face. He said, "Busy weekend?" Maya laughed quietly. "Yes, my daughter had a school event and my parents visited. It was nice, but I didn't really rest." David nodded. "I understand. Sometimes we miss the quiet weekends." Maya smiled. "Yes, exactly. I miss doing nothing." They both laughed. Then David said, "Well, I hope today is not too heavy." Maya looked at her calendar and said, "I have 2 meetings and 1 report. Not terrible." David said, "That sounds manageable. But if you need help with the report, let me know." Maya said, "Thanks. I might ask you later." It was a very short conversation, only 1 or 2 minutes, but it changed the feeling of the morning. At work, "How are you?" can be more than a polite question. It can be a small door. When we listen for 1 extra second, we show respect. You do not need perfect English to be kind. You just need a simple question and a little attention. Today, ask one person how they are and really listen to the answer. Story 3. Checking our bandwidth. At 10:30, Nina joined a short team meeting. Her manager, Paul, looked at the task list and said, "We have 3 reports due this week. Before we promise anything new, I want to check everyone's bandwidth." Nina listened carefully. She had heard the word before, but she did not use it often. Paul looked at her and asked, "Nina, do you have bandwidth to help with the sales summary by Thursday?" Nina wanted to say yes. She liked being helpful, but she looked at her calendar. 2 client calls, 1 training session, 1 report that was already late. She took a breath and said, "Honestly, I don't think I have enough bandwidth this week. I can help review it on Friday, but I cannot write the first draft." The room was quiet for a second. Then Paul nodded. "Thanks for being clear. Friday review is still helpful." After the meeting, her co-worker Sam said, "That was a good answer. Clear, but not negative." Nina smiled. I didn't want to sound lazy." Sam said, "You didn't. You sounded realistic." At work, saying yes to everything can feel kind, but sometimes it creates stress later. When you do not have enough time or energy, you can be honest. You can still offer a smaller way to help. Good communication is not always a big speech. Sometimes it is 1 calm sentence. Today, protect your time with honest and respectful English. Story 4. A checkpoint before Friday. On Wednesday afternoon, the team had a quick checkpoint meeting. It was not a long meeting, only 15 minutes. Their manager, Grace, opened her laptop and said, "Let's check where we are before Friday." Everyone gave a short update. Tom said, the customer list is ready. Anna said, the email draft is almost done. Then Grace looked at Leo. Leo, how is the new dashboard? Leo paused. He wanted to say everything was fine, but actually one chart was not working. He said, the main page is ready, but I'm still fixing one issue. I may need one more day. Grace nodded. Thanks for telling us now. This is why we have a checkpoint. Leo felt a little better. Then Grace added, this project is important. For our team, it feels like the beginning of a new epoch. The team laughed softly. Tom said, that sounds very serious. Grace smiled. Maybe it is. We are changing the way we share information with customers. After the meeting, Leo stayed at his desk and fixed the chart slowly. He was not relaxed, but he was not alone. Anna came over and said, do you want me to test it before I leave? Leo said, yes, that would help a lot. A checkpoint is not only for finding problems, it is also a chance to ask for support before it is too late. Today, use one honest update to make teamwork easier. Story 5. I missed the quiet morning. On Thursday morning, Ryan arrived at the office before most people. The lights were soft, the desks were quiet. Only the coffee machine was making a small sound in the corner. He sat down, opened his laptop, and looked at his inbox. 32 unread emails. Ryan sighed. Then his co-worker Emma came in and said, morning, Ryan. You're early today. Ryan smiled a little. Yeah, I wanted some quiet time before the first meeting. Emma put her bag on her chair and said, I understand. I miss the quiet mornings we used to have. Ryan nodded. Me too. These days, the day starts fast and stays fast. Emma laughed softly. That sounds exactly right. A few minutes later, they made coffee together. Emma asked, do you have a busy day? Ryan looked at his calendar. Pretty busy. 3 meetings, 1 client call, and a report to finish. Emma said, that's a lot. Don't forget to take a real lunch break. Ryan smiled. I'll try, but you know how it is. Emma said, I do, but even 10 minutes away from the screen can help. Later that day, Ryan remembered her words. At lunchtime, he closed his laptop and walked outside for 10 minutes. Nothing special happened, no big idea, no big change. But when he came back, his mind felt clearer. Sometimes at work, we miss quiet moments because we think we must always keep moving. But a short pause is not a waste of time. It helps us come back with better energy. Today, give yourself one small, quiet moment during a busy day. Story 6. The message after lunch. After lunch, Sophia came back to her desk and saw a message from her manager. It said, can we talk for 5 minutes? Sophia felt a little nervous. 5 minutes later, she joined the call. Her manager, Helen, smiled and said, hi, Sophia, don't worry, this is just a quick follow-up. Sophia smiled too. Okay, thanks for saying that. Helen said, I read your customer email from this morning. The information was clear. The tone was polite. Nice work. Sophia felt relieved. Oh, thank you. I was not sure if it sounded natural. Helen said, it did. I especially liked the first line. It sounded warm, not too formal. Sophia nodded. I tried to make the customer feel comfortable. Helen said, that's important. A small smile in your language can change the whole message. Sophia laughed softly. A smile in my language, I like that. Then Helen added, for the next email, maybe make the action step a little clearer. Just 1 sentence at the end. Sophia wrote it down. Got it. A clear action step at the end. The call ended in less than 5 minutes. Sophia went back to her work with more confidence. Feedback does not always need to feel scary. When it is clear and kind, it helps people grow. And when you receive feedback, you do not need to answer perfectly. You can simply say, thank you, I'll keep that in mind. Today, take one piece of feedback as a small step forward. Story 7. A better way to say no. On Friday morning, Karen was planning her day. She had 1 team meeting, 2 customer emails, and 1 document to finish before 3 o'clock. Then her co-worker Ben came to her desk. He said, "Hey Karen, do you have a minute?" Karen smiled and said, "Sure, what's up?" Ben looked a little stressed. "I need help checking a presentation. The meeting is this afternoon." Karen wanted to help. Ben had helped her many times before, but she looked at her task list and paused. She said, "I want to help, but I don't think I have enough bandwidth this morning." Ben nodded slowly. "Oh, okay, no worries." Karen did not want the conversation to end there. She said, "I can't review the whole presentation, but I can check the first 2 slides after lunch. Would that help?" Ben's face changed. "Yes, that would help a lot. The opening is the part I'm most worried about." Karen said, "Great, send it to me before 1 o'clock." After lunch, Karen spent 10 minutes on the first 2 slides. She added a few comments and sent the file back. Ben replied, "Thank you. This is exactly what I needed." Karen smiled. She did not say yes to everything, but she still helped in a clear and realistic way. At work, saying no does not have to sound cold. You can be honest, you can be kind, and you can offer a smaller option. Today, try one clear sentence that protects your time and keeps the relationship warm. Story 8. The Friday afternoon checkpoint. On Friday afternoon, the office felt a little slower. People were finishing emails, some were cleaning their desks, some were already thinking about the weekend. At 3 o'clock, the team had one last checkpoint. Their manager Daniel said, "Let's keep this short. What did we finish this week?" Ava looked at her notes. "We finished the customer email draft, updated the report, and checked the new dashboard." Daniel smiled. "Great." "Any open items?" Ava said, "Yes, one chart still needs a final check on Monday." Daniel nodded. "That's fine. We don't need to rush it today." Then he looked at the team and said, "Honestly, this was a busy week. Thank you for your work." Everyone looked a little tired but happy. Jason said, "I think we all used our full bandwidth this week." The team laughed. Daniel said, "Yes, I agree. Please rest this weekend." After the meeting, Ava closed her laptop slowly. She felt proud. The week was not perfect. There were small problems, late messages, and a few stressful moments. But there were also good things: a kind smile, a helpful gift, a clear "how are you?" an honest update, a better way to say no. Sometimes progress at work is not one big change. It is many small moments repeated again and again. A good week does not mean everything was easy. It means we kept going, kept learning, and helped each other when we could. Today, remember that small English habits can build real confidence over time. Next, as usual, I will check the vocabulary list created by the Quick Eye extension, learn the words quickly, and take the test.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found this content useful, please subscribe to support the channel and join me in keeping our English learning streak going every day.